Hey, good Friday afternoon, finally Friday. Thanks for joining us on this Friday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox, and did you see that massive hail yesterday? Holy moly, 5-inch hailstones falling from the sky right outside of Matador, Texas. I called these nature's wrecking balls. That was absolutely insane. Every so often, about once or twice a season, we get about 5-inch hailstones, and this was one of them that we got this season. Is today a repeat? Could we see those massive hailstones once again today? It's possible. For my max forecasted hail size today, I have over baseball size hail. And changes are coming. Not only are we seeing those storms for today, but yesterday we saw storms out in the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. Today we're seeing them out in the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. Tomorrow, things start to change. And as we get into Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, storms move up to the Midwest and up to the northern plains. So we'll talk about that as well. We've got already a few people jumping on Facebook saying Dallas is getting some crazy weather. Yeah, Dallas is included in that risk today. We also have storms out in the Oklahoma and Texas panhandle today. Dallas got all of those showers yesterday as well. So let's go through what we saw yesterday. Put in the comment section where you're watching from, and we'll try to get to those cities as we go throughout the forecast here. Yesterday, Omaha had a low risk for storms, and it was just this one storm that popped up around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, started to produce some smaller hail on the far west side of the city. But as this storm moved closer into the city, we saw a tornado warning from this, and we saw some pretty large hail. Actually, we got several 3-inch hail reports out in Omaha yesterday. Now, that storm ended up being a 3-star storm. It is officially mapped on hailtrace.com. We saw a few other storms yesterday up in Nebraska, one out in Colorado, just outside of Denver, about 45 minutes, an hour outside of Denver. A few hailstorms in the central portion of Kansas. This one quite interesting here in the southern side of Kansas, across the Oklahoma state line and into Oklahoma, was tornado warned for quite some time. Now I know that this doesn't look like a large area that it covered, but it was tornado warned for quite some time. We saw a really decent lowering, and I think that we saw several touchdowns as well, just to the south of Alva into Freedom, Oklahoma, also reporting over golf ball size hail with that storm. And here is your very impressive hailstone, 5 inches, 5.2 inches to be exact, out to the west of Matador, Texas, in the Texas Panhandle. Now we saw a very impressive tornado in this area, massive hailstorms, but this was not the only area that produced some large hail. We also got down to the south of Matador, just to the east of Lubbock, some large hail and several tornadoes out of that storm as well. We got 4-inch size hail, 3-inch size hail, I mean, just massive hailstones over here. Farther up to the north into the panhandle of Texas, we also saw some hailers and some tornado producers. But as we headed into the late night hours, you started to see that risk go down, rain across Oklahoma City this morning into your morning commute. And now I think that we're pretty quiet out there. I don't see anything severe right now. Give us a few hours and we will once again see those severe storms. So let's take a look at your current conditions right now. Cold front anywhere from the middle of Missouri all the way into the middle of Oklahoma. That low pressure system sitting out near the Texas Panhandle. Now this dry line is going to be something to keep an eye on today. We've got a little outflow boundary out there that will be something to watch to spark up storms later on today. Let's take a look at the Midwest. Lots of rain up here. Now a lot of areas today will have that chance for lightning, thunderstorms, but one area in particular to watch that severe weather. Could you see some hail down to the south? I think it's possible, but that hail size will be pretty small, not terribly impressive. Kansas, completely dry right now, and we're mostly dry up to the north and west, maybe some light showers up in the mountains. Some cooler air is trying to move through into Denver, 43 right now, 65 here in Oklahoma City. It's humid outside here in Oklahoma City. Those colder temperatures will try to move into the rest of the plains tomorrow, mitigating our severe chances just a little bit. But then as we head into the later portion of the weekend, into early next week, we're going to see those severe chances go back up. So let's talk about that risk today. We've got a marginal risk in the southern side of Ohio into Kentucky. This is a wind risk. We won't talk about this too much. You could see wind up to about 65 miles an hour out here. Extremely low hail risk, extremely low tornado risk. Let's move down into Oklahoma and Texas. So this is on the eastern side of New Mexico, through most of West Texas, and then even into the southwest side of Oklahoma, including Dallas in this risk here. We do have a level 3 and enhanced risk highlighted there in orange. So that is a brand new upgrade this morning from the National Weather Service. Timeline here. Storms will go up right around the same time that we saw storms yesterday. Maybe an hour before what we saw yesterday. Storms went up right between about 3 and 4 o'clock yesterday, finally going severe by about 5 o'clock. However, I think today could be about an hour earlier. I would look for storms to go up around 2 to 3 o'clock, going severe between about 3 and 4 o'clock this evening. Hey, we have storm chasers out on this storm today. We have storm chasers driving from Oklahoma City out to the Panhandle right now, and we will keep an eye on their stream, and we'll go live this afternoon and this evening. If they have anything interesting to show, if they have supercells going up, we will have video of it. So make sure that you hit that follow button because we'll be watching these storms today. But speaking of, these storms will continue as we head into the evening hours. Again, southwestern Oklahoma into the Texas Panhandle, from Lubbock all the way down into Dallas and San Angelo. We will continue to watch these storms through the overnight hours. However, they lose a lot of their oomph. They lose a lot of their strength late tonight and into early tomorrow morning. But we have a repeat event going again tomorrow. As we head into Saturday, yes, we're still watching for those storms that could produce large hail on Saturday as well. Now, Sunday, things start to change, and we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. But I want to get to your hazards today and tomorrow before we get into Sunday. Pretty well-defined dry line out there. You can see that. I would look for that white line, but anytime that you see this tight gradient in between the brown and the green colors, that's whenever we have a really impressive dry line that can spark up storms. I was looking at the dew points yesterday as storms were firing. A very, very well-defined dry line out there. Your significant hail model doesn't look as impressive as what we saw yesterday. However, anytime we start to get these dark colors, dark oranges, reds on here, that's whenever we know that we could see some large hail. Not as impressive as yesterday, but still pretty impressive. Amarillo, Lubbock, you are in the high category to get storms today that could produce that large hail. In Lubbock, larger hail, up to the size of a baseball. However, higher than that. Now, the most likely size, right around that tennis ball to baseball size. However, I think that we could go higher into that softball range right here. Go up to Amarillo, those hail sizes will go smaller. Go down to Midland and Fort Stockton. This is where you're going to get a very isolated risk for storms. So you won't have as many storms in this area. Dallas, you're going to get storms later on in the day. Again, smaller hail in Dallas and a lower risk. All right, taking a look at that forecasted max hail size for today. Softball size hail, yep, we're going for it. After 5-inch hailstones yesterday, I think there is no reason that we can't see that once again today. Your wind forecast, 65 to 75 mile per hour wind speeds here, so I kept that in that teal category between that moderate to high risk. Yeah, I think that we could see some high wind today, but it's not going to be extreme. It's going to be in that high category, 65 to 75 miles an hour. The tornado risk today, looking pretty impressive as well. We have that level 2 risk right around Lubbock, Texas. So this is in the Texas Panhandle, western side of Texas, southeastern side of New Mexico. It's a level 2 risk, level 1 out in Amarillo, and Midland and Fort Stockton. Alrighty, moving on now to your HRRR forecast for today. So what I'm going to show you here is I'm going to show you 2 different weather models. The HRRR, or HRRR, you may hear people call it HRRR, and the NAM. So here we go. Storms going up between about 3 and 4 o'clock. I would pull that an hour back. Let's say storms going up between 2 and 3 o'clock this afternoon. And then continuing as we head into your dinner time hours, right in between Amarillo and Lubbock, and then moving into the southwestern side of Oklahoma. Now, the HRRR wants to bring us more isolated storms, while the NAM wants this to be a little bit more widespread. And you'll see the difference. Now, switching over to a different model here, you can see that we've got more storms out there that are a little bit more widespread, a little bit more clustered. It's basically the same forecast, same timing. One model wants to bring us more rain for more people. One model wants to bring us more isolated storms, okay? Taking you to Saturday now. Saturday still looks like that hail forecast is pretty impressive, but again, that risk goes down as we get into Saturday. I think that we've got some factors that's going to mitigate that risk. It's a smaller risk as well. We're going out to the west side of Texas, into the Texas Panhandle, and east side of New Mexico, including Tucumcari out here right along I-40. You'll see that in just a minute. But that risk for Saturday, it's a level 1 on a scale of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. We are watching for tomorrow that hail risk. Still, I think we could get up to baseball-sized hail from Tucumcari all the way to Amarillo. But for the rest of Texas, you know, those areas closer to Lubbock, down to the south in San Angelo, I think that you guys are severe clear. Oklahoma, pretty severe clear on Saturday as well. Here's your Saturday max forecasted hail size up to tennis ball, baseball size hail on Saturday. So I brought it down from softball to baseball size hail. Still massive hailstones. Wind forecast 65, 70 miles an hour. Tornado forecast on Saturday. We've got that level 1 risk from Tucumcari all the way to Amarillo, Lubbock included in that as well. So I know we've talked about a lot here. We talked about today and tomorrow's risk, but we have another chance for storms Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So let's go through that. And I'll try to go through pretty slow so that you guys can see the areas. Today, anywhere from Dallas to Amarillo, down to the southwestern side of Texas. Tomorrow, smaller risk, lower chance for large hail, Amarillo to Lubbock. Sunday, things change. We bring that risk farther up into the northern side of the plains on Sunday. By Monday, we shift that over to the east, anywhere from Oklahoma City all the way up to Minneapolis, and even including Chicago in that risk on Monday. Tuesday, we are officially into the Midwest, so down from the southern plains across Missouri and Arkansas and into the Midwest. So we have 5, I think that totals 5 chances for storms from today all the way to Tuesday. So let's talk temperatures now. We're anywhere from the 40s to the 50s, out to the west in Denver, in Rapid City, Oklahoma City 77. Pretty nice day. It feels humid. It's hot, humid. It's your typical spring day. As we head into the weekend, I think temperatures try to cool just a little bit, at least in the mornings, but then in the afternoons, we're going to see those temperatures stay pretty warm. All right, let's look into May. Now, we're kind of approaching the last part of April here, the last few days. What about the very beginning of May? Could we see this very active trend continue? It looks like storms will most likely continue. Why do we think that? Because we have warm temperatures. So what we need for storms is we need heat and we need moisture. So temperatures are likely to stay above average as we head into the first 4 days of May. And it looks like our moisture content is going to stay above average as well, especially down in the southern portion of the U.S. early May as well. So could we see this active pattern continue where we have a chance for storms every single day? Yes, it looks very likely. Every day, every other day. Storms will be in the forecast all the way through the beginning of May. So make sure that you're coming back every day at noon for the most up-to-date forecast. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Threads. We are on just about every social media platform out there. If we see big changes in the forecast or any really impressive tornado or hail pictures, we post them on these websites. And if you're interested in a hail, wind, or tornado map, we mapped a lot of tornadoes yesterday. We mapped those hailstorms in Omaha. We mapped hail across Texas. Yes, we have that at hailtrace.com. So you can also give us a call to get set up with those maps at 855-334-4245, or you can email us at info@hailtrace.com. All right, have a fantastic Friday. We'll probably be back on our live later on today, so hit that follow button and we'll see you in a few hours.